So, starting with the topic, this is going to be about nutrition and weight management. We are going to simplify certain concepts. So, quickly, I'll introduce myself. My name is Akshada, and I'm a clinical nutritionist. I've done masters in foods, nutrition, and dietetics, and coached more than 800 people one-on-one and more than 200 people in group. So, major objective of these people were to lose weight, get healthy, feel more active, again, improve their gut health, spend time with their family, improve immunity, and get rid of their diabetes, thyroid, work on their hypertension and cholesterol. So, is food really the reason, or was there any other reason in these cases? I'll tell you all in the next slides. So these are my two most favorite, transformations where the results are really 3 months apart, where being skinny, fat to muscular, and being a non-lifter to a lifter, they have, come a long way. So can we achieve this changes in 3 months? Is this possible? We are going to learn. But I want all of you to speak up about your problems and challenges so that we can solve it together during the seminar. So tell me, why do we eat, or why food is important? Starting with Shaila ma'am, if you can tell us, why do we eat food? Very easy question though. We all know. Ma'am, you are on mute.
I said we need food to live.
Very true. We need food to live. And why? I mean, why food? Why not other thing? Why are we not eating other things? I mean, I can eat a towel, I can eat a remote, I can eat my specs, right? But why food only?
We can digest it pretty
body
well compared to
needs
other stuff.
Of course. I mean, food now, the change definition is we eat for our physiological and our psychological, reasons. Of course, food is going to give us nutrients. We need food to develop. We need it for our health, growth. And nowadays, it is also like a social experiment. If I want to go to my friend's birthday party and they are offering me something about their specific food, I'm not going to say no to it. I'm of course going to eat. Of course, there are so many places you all have seen insane YouTube videos where people have trying different food combinations, doing experiments about food. But in the end, we need it to live. We need it to grow because it gives us energy. Now, why it is about weight gain and weight loss? Why we are so worried? It is so simple, right? I mean, let's assume if Namrata's BMR is 1500 and she is eating around 1700, which means she is eating more and rather than moving. So those 200 additional calories will be stored and converted into fat, and that is how we lead to weight gain. But let's suppose she starts, consuming a little less and starts moving a little more initially, then the body will start utilizing the stored energy and use it for, because the energy expenditure is more now, she'll experience weight loss. It's simple, right? We don't see any difficulty here. It's very simple. We can calculate on the applications that we have, or we'll read labels, we'll start calculating the diet. We know about the information also that carbohydrates will give me 4 kilocalories per gram. If I'm eating 100 grams, which means 400 calories, that's how I can keep a tab on my diet. But this is not so simple somehow. Just looking at basic, there are macronutrients and micronutrients. There are three important macronutrients where we get the energy from. Number one is carbohydrate, which is like a villain in everybody's life. We all think that eating carb will make us, gain weight. Why is that so? Because we see carb through potato, we see carb through rice, pasta, noodles, all these food sources, but we fail to see carbs in the form of fruits and vegetables, where fibers is also the, component. Now talking about proteins, it will also give the same amount of energy like carbs, 4 kilocalories. So the sources of protein, can anybody tell me? Very simple and easy.
Legumes.
Wonderful. Anybody?
Oatmeal.
Okay, that could be more towards carbohydrate because oats are source of carbs. Protein could be it is majorly your animal source protein and plant-based protein. So animal protein, which means your dairy protein, milk, yogurt, buttermilk, cottage cheese. Again, talking about your animal sources, and it would have poultry, fish, chicken, meat, egg. And plant-based, which means legumes, as Namrata said, and pulses. Again, soybean, tofu can also be classified as a plant-based protein. And this will also give us 4 calories. Now fat. Can you say fat is calorically dense? That's how our even 1 teaspoon oil, which means 4 grams of oil, will give you around 40 calories, which is double than your proteins and carbs. That's why people also are very scared of including fat in the diet. That's why people who are snacking on nuts, which are predominantly source of fat, usually don't realize, but they end up eating a lot of calories at one sitting. That I was not hungry, but I snacked on handful of nuts. So handful of nuts contained around 250 calories, and I didn't even realize that. I finished it like in 2-3 minutes. And then I was wondering, I am eating all the time healthy, but why I'm like not losing weight? And I'm doing my exercise also, because somehow I am eating slightly more and I'm not burning that much. Now alcohol, it's gonna give us empty calories, 7 calories per gram. Why empty calories? Because it does not, like, it is not getting stored in the muscle glycogen. Body will convert sugar or sugar molecules from your alcohol directly into fatty acid. We do not have any nutritional benefit from alcohol, and there's another different system in the body that will be into the action when we want to get rid of the alcohol out of the body. So it will pressurize the liver. Body will has to, like, we will have to produce a lot of enzyme to get rid of that. Now water, mineral, fibers, they do not have any calories, and that's why if they are trying to tell you that, hey, vitamins and minerals do give you energy, say no to it, because we know that micronutrient will not provide any calories like your macronutrient. They will be helpful to producing energy through various metabolic pathways. Now the main word, metabolism, everybody know about it. Has anybody used a sentence like, my metabolism is slow, I want to improve it? Anybody?
Yes.
Like at least one time we must have, like, we would have said, I can do everything, but my metabolism is slow. After I got married, my metabolism decreased. After I had kids, my metabolism gone down. So why this metabolism is, culprit, or why it is important? Because this is the only way we can decide how many calories we can lose. Okay. Now let's understand why weight loss and weight gain, it is not only restricted to calories, because it is usually gradual and unnoticed. We go to the college, we get a job, then the main priority, is usually work, then family, maintaining the, like, everybody's health around, paying attention to your kids. Your health takes a backseat. And with small habits, we tend to sit more, move less, and eat more. That is like a hidden cause. How weight gain, often is gradual, and we don't even notice it. Then we compare the photos, we see the, cloth size, we see the fitting is not proper, and then we start, worrying about it. We don't have to now fight for the food. I can just take my phone, I can order my favorite meal, and I can say what I want to eat. Now for females, especially hormonal imbalance is the major cause because genetically we have lower muscle mass, we have higher body fat percentages, we have hormonal roller coaster throughout the day. That's why if you compare, you know, a man's mood versus a woman's mood, it is very different. Like we would be very active, super active in the morning, afternoon we would be sleepy, at night we would be very irritating, angry. So these are lot of hormonal imbalance throughout the day. Of course, talking about our menstruation, menopausal period, again, these changes will have a lot of impact on our eating and on our appetite and hunger hormone. So female hormones like estrogen, progesterone, LH and FSH has a very, very strong impact on eating hormones like, hunger and satiety hormones like leptin and ghrelin. Even we are more susceptible because we have lesser muscle mass. We can't build a prominent muscle like males in a shorter span of time because we don't have that hormone. We do not have testosterone. That is why the muscle building, the whole metabolism thing come into the picture. That is why female nutrition has to focused differently. We have to look at ourselves, not comparing to anybody, because we are very unique. My hormonal cue would be very different compared to Namrata's. While my periods are on, I would like to eat more salty foods, wherein if she wants to eat more sweet foods. This is how we are very different and individual. So understand the hormonal cues and react towards it. Understand that. Again, psychological habits, how the food is appealing. If we are stressed, we will tend to eat more sweet foods because we need more energy at that time. Again, packaging, advertising that low fat, high protein, low carb, we fall for marketing gimmicks. And of course, because nowadays we are so busy, we just order or we just take away food and eat that. Of course, the last and main reason is we don't understand actually how the food breakup should be, how the plate should look. Let's understand why most diet fail, because we all have done intermittent fasting, we all have done keto once in our lifetime, we have skipped one meal to lose weight, we have eliminated sugar from our diet to lose weight, we have stopped eating chapatis, rice from the diet. We stopped this, right? At least once, because we wanted to lose weight, correct? Or we wanted to be healthy because somebody told us that if you don't take sugar for 30 days, take this challenge and you will be super healthy. Or do this X amount of, or just avoid eating rice at night and drink jeera water in the morning, you will lose weight. We all have, we all have done that. Why? Because somebody else showed a difference pictorially and we believed that. But understand, most of the diets demand drastic changes from my habit. If somebody asks me to quit rice or roti, I can't do that. That is my staple. That's why it will be impossible to sustain. And it will not be enjoyable for me because everybody at my home would be eating parathas or they would be eating once in a while chole bhature, and I would be scared and I will run away from that. I'm like, no, I'm on diet. I won't eat that. Right? So now it is not enjoyable anymore because nobody taught me the concept of portion eating. Nobody told me how much should I eat. Again, because I'm on a restricted diet, I will start feeling more hungry because I'm internally stressed. Stress hormone and hunger is directly related. The more stressed you are, the more hungry you will get, and that is, that will directly affect your mood as well. Now, let's understand, if I am following a very calorie restrictive diet for a very long time, for my body, it is a symbol of starving. I'm not eating enough. So that is why that signal is considered as starvation and body will start storing fat more. So in terms of, I started following a diet in order to lose weight, but I ended up gaining more fat in the journey. And that's how people initially, when they follow crash diets, they lose drastic weight. That is usually more water and muscle from the body. They don't lose fat from the body. And that's why when they stop following that diet, entire amount that they lost will come back again. So if I've lost 5 kg in a month, I'll end up gaining like 10 kgs in the next month. If the way is not healthy and if the way is not sustainable. Now, we all have seen this. You must stop eating carbs if you want to lose weight. And eating carbs afternoon 40 grams, 160 calories. Night mein also it's gonna be itna. This is absolutely, nonsense. This is not like this. Carbs will give you same calories in the morning, afternoon, night, midnight. Everything would be the same. In the end, what matters is the portion size. That again, the combination of foods that you eat. And again, the activities that you involve in. Now, we spoke about metabolism, right? Let's understand what are 9 factors that will influence the metabolism. Number 1, diet. How diet? Because our body has its own system. We digest food and we spend energy to digest food. If my food has more protein, my body will increase, my body will need more calories to digest that meat, which has more protein. Okay. And let's suppose if I'm young, I'm following good protein diet. It has complex carbohydrates, healthy fats. Again, the complex meal, body is going to need more calories to digest that. Again, we are young, so the metabolism is high. As we grow older, the metabolism drops by 1 or 2%. That is why as we age, we find it difficult to be healthy. That is why set your foundation when you are young. Please tell your kids to involve in a lot of physical activities, send, do yoga with them, do weightlifting with them, teach them body weight exercises so that they'll start engaging in physical activities. Now, males and females. Of course, males will have higher metabolic rate compared to females because we have to give birth, we have more fat percentages. Body size, people with heavier body size tend to have higher metabolism, but somehow still they are not able to lose weight because they don't understand the equation of calorie intake and calorie output. Again, hormones, female hormones are made to store the fat versus your testosterone and androgens will make you lose weight and gain muscles. That is it's like genetically thoda sa not fair, but okay. The more muscle mass, that is why how females can change the picture by including good amount of protein in the diet, by keeping at least 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per kg body ideal weight. So if my ideal body weight is 50, I should eat at least 55 to 60 grams of good quality protein, which means I'll get all the amino acids. So I will consider eating non-vegetarian source of protein more, which means egg, meat, chicken, poultry. If I'm a vegetarian, then I'll depend more upon tofu, paneer, milk, all these things. Unless and until you are not lactose intolerant, don't get scared by looking at milk. If you are getting it from a trusted source, please go ahead, have it, because that is our only source of getting good amino acid, like all the amino acids that we need. Again, body fat percentages, higher the body fat, lesser the metabolism would be. More the muscle mass, higher the metabolism. That's why females who engage in weightlifting, they will have higher muscle mass and they will have higher metabolism. Please keep physical activity. People who have like a moderate to active physical lifestyle, their body, they will never have challenge with maintaining their weight. And of course, the environment. If you are somebody who is living in a very polluted environment, you don't have access to fresh vegetables or something like that, that will be also an effect to your, metabolism. Now, this is the most hated slide. Not everybody wants to understand that you have to adapt, you have to do your lifestyle adaptation, which means what? If my breakfast since a long time, I was eating bread, tea, I was eating jam, I was eating cereals, milk, putting sugar to it. If my breakfast was sweet, I'll not be able to, change that easily. I will need some time. Always consider starting your day with savory breakfast like egg omelette, boiled egg, scrambled egg. If you're having Indian breakfast like poha, chila, paratha, try to add some amount of protein to that. This is where we face problem because we have problem with that protein word, adding protein to every meal. But in the end, that is going to be the answer. If my breakfast has huge carb load, my body will shoot up, my glucose levels will spike, and in order to control that glucose, my body will produce insulin a lot. So that is how body will start depositing fat more. So make sure that you include at least 15 to 20 grams of protein in the breakfast. That's why since a long time my breakfast is very stable. It's either poha with paneer or poha with 2 boiled eggs or boiled egg with lot of vegetables, yeah, egg omelette and vegetables, something like that. It is very, very simple, very stable. And of course, once in a while, I engage in eating chole bhature, chole kulche. This is what I eat. So keep that as a habit of adding protein in the first meal. If my requirement is 60, ideally my all major meals should have at least 15 grams of protein. And in between snacks can have 5. So that is how people don't understand food balance. They'll either have lot of vegetables in order to lose weight or lot of protein or lot of fat, either this or that. Don't do that. Have a balance and learn to modify your diet, not to eliminate certain things. I mean, don't eliminate carb, don't eliminate particular fat source. Of course, keeping away processed food excessive, as in, sodas, cokes, sugary drinks. I personally say no to that because a lot of processed food, they have a lot of sugar, salt in that. They are extremely addictive. They produce a lot of inflammation in the body. They give rise to producing a lot of oxidative radicals in the body, and body get internally stressed. Also, the taste is very addictive. The reason is they go to the brain. It is going to activate the reward pathway. Whenever I eat something packed, I feel good. That is why I'm going to go to eat that food again and again. For example, cookies, biscuits, pastries. These are appetizing. I like it. When I eat it, my happy hormones are released. Again, a reward pathway is done. I'm going to choose that food again. Don't do that. Don't make this habit. And if you are eating any sweet for any occasion, limit the quantity and take a walk, because taking a walk or increasing any physical activity after indulging in sweets will reduce your glucose spike or reduce your insulin spike. That is the hack to eat any sweet food in the diet. If you went for a birthday party, you had a piece of cake, don't forget to take a walk for 5 or 10 minutes, at least, in order to stabilize your blood glucose levels and increase your activity. Indulge in more weightlifting activities, lift your weight, do, try to do difficult version of yoga, challenge yourself to burn more calories and increase your metabolism. So now we have, let's suppose we have cereal grains, that is one group. We have pulses, like we'll consider we have carbs, we have protein, and we have fats. Okay, so from carbs, what options we have? Shreya, Anita, you can tell me amongst carb what you all are eating right now. What is the preferred source?
Rice, rotis.
Rice. Correct. Rice, roti, that is a cereal grain. Millets, anybody is consuming millets?
I take oats.
Okay, oats is again your cereal. What about bajra, jowar, ragi?
Yeah, that also
Once
is
in a while.
included, like once in a while.
So this is a one food group. which is more carb dominant. Matlab, we'll get a lot of carbs from these sources. We need these sources to have energy, to do, to do a lot of activities in our daily life. Second would be our bodybuilding nutrient, that is protein. So legumes, pulses, if you are non-vegetarian, meat, chicken, that is going to be your next group. Third is your antioxidant vitamin mineral wala group. That's your vegetables and fruits. So how many types of vegetable now you are managing to eat in a week? Anybody?
Sorry, what was the question?
Like what vegetables do you eat in a week? Are you able to like include a lot of vegetable, variety? Yeah, those 2-3 repetitions.
More or less repetitive stuff. I mean, vegetables.
Okay.
Yeah, same here. For me also mostly same, like spinach and
Hmm.
that methi leaves, carrots, cabbage, whatever I get it available in UAE, fresh and nice. Yeah, ladyfinger, these all vegetables. And bell
Great.
peppers, yeah. Yeah, I use in salad,
Wonderful.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
at least you all are eating variety of vegetables. I was happy. I thought I'll only hear like cucumber, carrots, basic tomato, onion. So great. And what type of oils do you use? Now, this is the important question that I get asked a lot of times. So I'll solve it for everybody who is here now. So what type of cooking medium you usually use? Which oil or anything? Just tell me.
I use variety of oils for different cooking. Olive oil, peanut
Hmm.
oil, mustard oil, and even
Hmm.
sesame oil. I use this
Okay.
4 kind of oils.
Great, great. So, what type of fat should we use in the meals? Remember, saturated fats are the most preferred source of fat when we cook any meal. For example, if you have butter or ghee, try to cook maximum meals in that. The reason is when we heat saturated fat, there is no chemical reaction, or because they are saturated, they won't be converted into trans fatty acids. And they are subjected to, like, you can subject them to higher heat also. Their smoke point, fire point is very high. That's why after heating ghee or butter will not have any bad effects in the body. And there are a lot of scientific literature or papers, written on this topic. Compared to seed oils, uh, just keeping mustard oil away from other seed oil, canola seed or sunflower seed, soybean oil also. These oils are more oxidative in nature. When we heat them, they are going to just understand, release something which is not very welcoming in the body. They are going to cause oxidation, where the term inflammation is actually coined after studying the reactions of oils in the body. So when we use oil versus fat, animal fat is considered more safe. But people were more scared to use butter and ghee in the diet because of cholesterol. Just keep one thing in mind, your dietary cholesterol will have zero or no effect in the cholesterol problem that we face, because our body makes its own cholesterol. It has its own system. Eating ghee or butter will reduce your bad cholesterol in the system, and there are again researches done on this. So if you are, because not everybody will like taste of ghee, you can use olive oil, you can use butter, or you can use oil cycling, you can do throughout the week. For example, in my family, they have been using mustard oil since ages. Shifting them to ghee was a huge challenge. So I did 4 days in a week mustard oil, 2 days in a week ghee, or mixing ghee and butter and using it for special dishes. And then when I told them the benefits and all, of course, adjusting to the taste was a huge problem here, but I did it anyways. But I took 2 years for that, but I didn't give up. Of course, I had to do that. So these changes would need some patience and time, and give that, because we are in no rush or hurry to, change the pattern, because people also need time to adapt. So give time to adaptation. Now, talking about, let's suppose breakfast, I'm eating toast and some vegetables and some, let's suppose boiled egg. What would be the reaction in my body? If I'm eating that toast, my body will be breaking down that toast into glucose, correct? And my blood glucose level will be higher. But when I change the order of my breakfast, when I eat my protein first, my vegetable second, and my carb third, the insulin spike would not that much. My glucose levels will not rise very, sharply. There would be a stable release of glucose, and we want that, because we usually have a breakfast which will rise our glucose so quickly, then we face energy crash, and mid morning we feel very hungry. So that is the reason why after eating breakfast, people usually tend to snack after 2 hours, because the breakfast itself lack good quality protein and they miss the order. Of course, in India, we mix everything. If it's poha, then vegetables are mixed in poha, rice flakes, and that's it. That's usually the outcome looks like. Nobody adds paneer cube in poha, but if you do that, then that would be like a good meal wherein you will not feel glucose crash. It is, I was in a research community where we did experiments on 32 females where they had CGM on. It was a machine, it counted their glucose. It is usually put on your stomach or back of your arm. It tells you how much glucose your body is releasing, and you can see spikes on the screen. So we tried with different combinations of breakfast. On everybody's reaction was different, but we got an average answer. So females who ate aloo paratha had the highest spike. Females who ate paneer paratha had lesser spike. Females who ate only boiled egg had like very stable glucose levels. Females who had bread and jam, the glucose levels were on the roof. I mean, we were shocked to see such a higher glucose response. More than 238 milligrams per DL post lunch sugar, like post meal sugar levels were recorded. Females who ate paneer poha had compared to lesser glucose spikes. So combining protein in the initial meal is very, very useful. If not paneer cubes, then adding sprouts to your poha, adding, some dal while you do the chalk, that is also doable. Or if you're eating paratha, add a lot of vegetables to it. Or if you're adding like having toast, add again a serving of vegetable to it. It will, fulfill your appetite, and you will be satiated for 2-3 hours. And of course, drinking plenty of water. We are so busy that we keep forgetting drinking water. But trust me, when you drink a lot of water, your body will have a medium to transport free fatty acid and convert it into energy. So drink water to lose fat. So these are all food groups we discussed. Try to eat maximum variety if you can. Otherwise, don't stress about it. Now, how people or marketing agencies are fooling us. Please start reading the labels behind the pack to understand what you are eating. So this is a like classy bread from India, Britannia brown bread. So when I see brown, in my mind, I'm already tricked. I feel, oh, it's healthy, it's brown bread, let me take it. But when I turn the label and when I see the ingredients, it says whole wheat flour is only 32%, which means I am paying for only, you see, oil quality is refined palm oil. Nobody use palm oil, right? We don't use that. Nowadays, nobody use palm oil. But in bread, we are okay to we are okay to eat palm oil. Again, you see a food color here, 158. It's the classic caramel brown color that the industry is using and making the bread brown. And we feel that, oh yes, we are eating whole wheat and Yes, now my nutrient needs are completely fine. It's getting fulfilled. So try to read ingredients behind the food label. This is again the most, I would say, fooled product. Light chuda, we feel okay, it's very light. But trust me, if you eat it, you need to run for 2.9 kilometers to burn the energy you have eaten from the light chuda. Let's see the ingredients. It's refined palm oil, rice flakes, besan, tapioca, that's your sabudana, refined sugar, iodized salt, turmeric. Now again, refined oil. We are so careful about what oil or cooking medium we are using, but we are not, thinking about when we consume bakery products, when we consume cookies, because they are so tasty. Of course, they would be. See the combination, it's oil, salt, sugar. Three classic, combinations to increase your hunger response. So be aware, read the labels, don't fool for or don't fall for, high protein, low carb, high fiber. Read the labels and see how much you are getting. So let's suppose this is a particular food label. Read the serving information. So 4 servings per container. One serving size is 227 grams. Amount per serving. See the calories. Now, percentage daily value differ country wise. The guidelines would be different. So see that downwards here, you say 2000 calories. You see this percentage daily value tells you how much a nutrient in a serving of food contributes to a daily diet 2000 calories. So my diet is only 1500 calories. So these values then change for me. Again, see the nutrients, see the total sugars, carbohydrates, and cholesterol. So reading nutrition label is very important when you want to, eat healthy on a daily basis, because there are a lot of hidden things inside. This is how a plate should look like. 1/4 portion should be starch, but if you tell Indian families so much, like so less rice, entire family will come behind you, give 2-3 servings more on your plate. They'll think because you are starving, they'll think you are on diet. But tell them this is the ideal portion you should eat. 30 grams of rice will give you around 100 grams of 100 calories and 21 grams of carbs approximately. So this is for all cereal groups. So if you eat rice, roti, oats, 30 grams is the measurement for you. Understand the serving size. So 30-gram raw rice will be a full katori of cooked rice. That is okay. That is sufficient for you. If you pair with vegetables and your other macronutrients. 1/4 protein, I think itna to nobody is, this is not sufficient for us. We'll again take one more serving. But please understand the portion size. This is how it should look. And see, the half plate is filled with variety of vegetable. So if not these vegetables, add any vegetable that you have. So let's suppose in our home, if methi ki sabzi is made, along with that one roti, paneer, and your curd or salad, that is even an ideal meal to eat. So always remember, start with your salad, fill your stomach a little bit with salad, go to your carbs, combine it with protein and eat. This sequence will help you not to, produce so much glucose in the system. This will always be stabilized. Now, we don't do this, but mindful eating, I think this is like a rule of an hour now. We need this because we are always in rush. Nobody has that time to sit calmly, spend half an hour to 1 hour on the meal. We are usually watching something on TV, or we are listening to some music, or kids are running here and there around. Mothers are busy feeding their child. In order to feed their child, they miss eating their meal. So it's everybody will go through this phase, but understand, at least, see what is there on your plate. If you feel okay, protein is a little less, take more, add more salad, fill your plate, look at it, understand why you are eating this, how it will contribute or what it will give you nutrient wise. I think that would be the first step. You will start eating healthy. Now, this is, of course, for summers. This you can do after your yoga class to, feel fresh. And if you are doing like a very hectic session of 30-35 minutes, this is your refreshment drink. I am going to share this in the group so you all can take a note of it. Now, any questions you guys have, please, now the floor is open. We can discuss practical things and, we can talk more now. Any question about what could be a good breakfast option, or how hunger or snacking options, what are ideal snacking options? I'm ready to answer all the questions.
Yes, you mentioned that you should include protein in your snacks as well, like 5 grams of protein. What could that be? I usually have fruit between my breakfast and lunch, or between like in evening snack, maybe before dinner. If I'm hungry, I would have maybe nuts or fruit. What
Okay.
else could be added?
Okay, so initially I'll talk about fruits. If you're eating fruits, add 1 serving of nuts to it, because a fruit and nut combined is a very good option as a snack. Now, if you're eating a fruit, like select a medium serving and select 1 serving, which means 15 grams of nuts. So that could be 10 to 11 almonds and 1 or 2 walnuts together. If you want to change it, keep flax seeds roasted at your home. Make your own seed mixture and top that seed mixture on your fruits. Again, protein-rich snack would be Greek yogurt topped with seed, taken with any fruit stick or carrot stick or cucumber stick. That could be another good option. Roasted chana can be a good option along with roasted makhana. That is like a crunchier and saltier option if you want. You can also make your own flavors. You can add some herbs, make another flavor out of it. Apart from that, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter on a bread before your workout makes a good pre-workout snack, considering again how is your daily calorie intake is spread up. And if you are okay to say yes to protein powders, whey protein can be also a good, post-workout and also a filler between your meals. Usually that is because some flavors are so good. In India, there are particular brands, those are researched kara hai jin pe, and they are safe to consume. So I usually take those protein powders, half a scoop, mix it in water, keep it in the freezer. That's like a good drink in between. Talking about drinks more, chas is again a good option. Again, add some sabja seeds, some flax seeds to it. Add some garden cress seeds to it to make it more iron rich. So these are multiple snacks that you can have. Again, we haven't talked about boiled chana, sprouts in between, to have as a protein rich snack. So these are plenty options. So इसमें से select two or three, make your calendar and keep it ready so that you don't have to rush and search for anything in your home. You'll have it ready in the fridge.
So I also have soaked almonds and raisins in the morning, first thing in the morning. So how much nuts per day you can have, how much you can consume?
So I would suggest at least have 1 serving, don't go beyond that. So that includes your nuts and dry fruits. So in the morning, avoid raisins because I don't want that morning glucose spike also. Soaked walnuts and soaked almonds should also do a good job here. 4 to 5 almonds and 1 walnut should work. That would be your half serving, and remaining half you can use it later in the day. And if you move more, you get more chance to add some more food in the diet. So that's why focus on increasing your activity more. If you're doing body weight workouts, doing yoga now, try to progress, add weights to the workout, improve your weight training. Start completing at least 5 to 6,000 steps in the day. Increase your need calories, which are not related to exercise. These are your non-exercise wala calories. Try to increase that.
Okay.
Anybody, any question? 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 Any question Any question regarding your breakfast, regarding your activities, what type of workout you can do? I'm also a certified trainer, so you can ask that. Shreya, Babita, Dilshad. Sheila ma'am, do you have any questions? Thank you, Dilshad.
Just
Ma'am,
a quick question.
huh,
Yeah. Does salt play any role in this
of course, of
diet?
course. Yes.
Yeah,
So
like
ideally, your sodium intake in the day should not be more than 1,500 milligrams. So that is why eating any packed food, check for salt, salt column. If it is saying more than 20-30% of your daily required value, don't take that because you're already getting salt from your food. Sodium contain is there in vegetables. Sodium is there in your egg, chicken, even fish. So 1,500, which means one small teaspoon from like it would be your daily uh, sodium chloride that you can take. But we take more than that. That is how then salt is like a villain for people who are hypertensive. So doctors will ask you to reduce your sodium intake. So instead of going at that level, just reduce the overall salt because we are unnecessarily take more salt in the day. But yes, 1,500 milligrams a day is the limit. Anybody, please give me your feedback. Tell me if you have any questions. We can discuss it on the group. I will share few, slides which were important and you can take information from that. Also, I can share some snack options in the group if that helps. And if you have further more questions, please let me know. We'll solve it on the group.
Sure.
No, I have not heard about Optiva. What is it? Is it any supplement brand? Acha. So I have to check it. I'll surely check and let you know. Optiva, you said, right?
Okay, and what is your take on the recent study on protein powders? Like they say they have some
Hmm.
pesticides and whatnot. So which
Hmm.
one is safer to take?
See, that was a classic study by Dr. Liver. He did that study. And they
Right.
found 38 protein powders from India where the study, revealed whatever amount is written on the label. For example, Oziva brand claims that the serving has 25 grams per scoop. But the study revealed that brand only had 18 grams of protein per scoop. So the protein amount lacked. Also, some of the protein powders had some chemicals which were harmful for the body because they are made together in the factory. So they gave
Right.
3 names of the brands. Whole Truth is one of those brands which has at least, research protein powder, and also the content is similar. Apart from that, Avatar India is also a good brands, like one of the good brands. Cosmic Wellness is also plant-based, pure, good protein brand. They didn't find any problem in the brand. Also, they have listed, so I can share that list also. It has protein
Sure.
brand's name and the quantity. So you can go through the names.
I have the gold standard one whey protein. I'm
Hmm.
not sure what
No, actually,
research on that.
Dawn was also listed not
One of
as
the
great.
right. Can you
So,
let us know which protein
yes, yes,
brand we
yes,
can have?
definitely, definitely. And any other question on protein? Huh. So, at like, what is the grade of esophagitis? What is the main symptom? Is it severe burning, nausea, headache? So we'll have to modify foods according to that. But from my side, dal khichdi will always work in esophagitis. Curd rice will always, works in esophagitis. Try to add some turmeric, nutmeg powder, and milk, and drink that. Like, make the child drink that. That will also be a good choice. Keep away all the chocolate related foods. Keep away tea, caffeine from the foods, from the child, because it creates a lot of gastric reflux in kids. If the pediatrician allows the kid to have, so please include omega-3. Have a lot of walnuts, almonds, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, oil seeds. This should help, because it will increase the omega-3 production in the body, and omega-3 will help a lot in managing esophagitis. And also, if you can add a supplement of curcumin, that should also help, because sometimes foods can be, to make that tasty and healthy for child can be a great task. So adding 1 or 2 supplements for their health should always be easy. So Indian vegetables, all vegetables, there's no restriction on vegetables. I mean, no restriction on even some scientists say citrus fruits are not really great option for esophagitis. But in my patients, even I had pediatric patients, I didn't find any problem when I recommended, uh, you know, uh, oranges or mosambis. They could take. And if you can eat multigrain atta, if you can make that at home, that would be the #1 choice. Like, combining bajra, ragi, and wheat together, adding some rice flour to it, because it will be easier to roll. Don't have that store-bought atta. Agar nahi hai, then wheat atta should also work. That's also fine. Nothing in, you don't have to eat something specific in atta. Wheat is also okay. Unless somebody is not gluten sensitive, or, celiac disease wala patient at your home.
I have one more question, sorry.
Hmm.
How safe is it to have apple cider vinegar on daily basis?
It's safe. It's of course safe, great results. But take apple cider vinegar, which has its culture. So on the bottle, it will be written with mother, without mother. So select bottles with, it is written with mother. So it has culture in it. So that is usually beneficial for the gut bacteria. And also, one hack, if you have to eat sweet in some place, take half tablespoon apple cider vinegar half an hour before. That will help you to stabilize your blood glucose level. And taking apple cider vinegar empty stomach in the morning is also shown to have better result on fat loss. But increase
Thank
your
you.
physical activity also. Don't be dependent on apple cider vinegar.
Correct.
Yes. And take a break. If you're taking it consistently for a week, take 2, 3, or 4 days ka break and then start again. So have some break in between.
I had it in the past, I think for a month or so, and I felt some sensitivity on my feet.
Yeah. So
So I quit.
yes. So after taking apple cider vinegar, always rinse your mouth twice or thrice. Otherwise, it can hurt your enamel of the teeth. So guys, 2 minutes more, then I have to wrap up and run for another seminar.
Okay.
But any questions, I would appreciate the questions on WhatsApp as well. Don't worry, I'll be ready to help over there. And I'll share the protein study on the group.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for joining and being so patient with me. Because in between, it was completely monologue. You just listened with utmost patience. And thank you for all your questions. I hope I answered it. If anything
Okay.
you want to ask regarding esophagitis personally, please ping me on WhatsApp. Thank you. Thank you so much all. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.